In life, we have to deal with different types of people, difficult people, and then terribly difficult people. Now, before we get to today's topic, thank you so much for joining us here on Espresso with Sky. My name is Sky, and this is my sidekick, Chewy. Now, if this is your first time here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, smash that notification bell, and if you want to help us out a lot, go ahead and like. Now, if you really want to help us out, go ahead and leave a comment below. If you don't know what to comment about, question of the day is, what types of people are you in conflict with the most? Friends, family, or colleagues? Now, for those of you who want to support us on Espresso with Sky, we have two ways you can do it. Number one is PayPal, and number two is a site called buymeacoffee.com, and I love it. Why? Because you can just sponsor us one latte. I love it. You can sponsor us for monthly or yearly, but you can sponsor just one coffee if you'd like to. Go ahead, check the links in the description. All right, guys, so let's get into today's topic of dealing with conflict in life. Now, in life, we're dealing with tons of people all the time. Friends, family, bosses, colleagues, roommates, you name it. You go to a cafe, dealing with the person. You go to McDonald's, dealing with the person. Everywhere we go, it's dealing with people. Now, there are a lot of people we get along with, and then there are some people we don't really get along with. Now, what's the reason? It's because we're having thousands and thousands of interactions every single day. We are bound to get into conflicts all the time. Some people in a good mood, some people in a bad mood. We're not sure, but conflicts is a normal part of life. Some are amicable, some you can get over, and some aren't, and some are impossible. So I'm gonna first start off with two things you need to think about, like really think about when it comes to dealing with conflicts in our life. So the first thing I want you to think really deeply about is there are very, very few bad people in the world. Yes, we always talk about good people and bad people, but a lot of times we kind of like frame these bad people as just anyone that doesn't get along with me, and that doesn't make them bad, right? Think about this, guys. Are there really people who are wicked and bad and evil like the devil, trying to make you not succeed, trying to make you like lose your job and just try to make you as miserable as possible? And the answer is there are very few. The first thing you have to get into your mind is this. Most people are not out to get you, and we have to realize it's just that we have different characters, we have different personalities, and some of these personalities don't match. Just like someone who's super quiet doesn't want to be around someone who is so noisy and loud. They like other quiet people, or people who are, speaking a little bit nicer, not like me, who's super loud and obnoxious. Right? So the thing is, the first thing you have to understand is it's about learning to work with different types of people. And sometimes, it's a little bit more harder and takes a little bit more time for you to work with each other. The second thing I really want you to think deeply about is realistic expectations. Now, what types of expectations? This is one of the things that causes people to get into bigger conflicts. Like this. Haven't you guys ever said this? Oh, they should have known what I was thinking. Didn't you know I was going through this? Didn't you know that I was feeling this? And the answer is no, they don't. People aren't mind readers. People aren't heart readers. People aren't like, I saw everything you went through in life and this is why you're this type of person. People don't know these things, and you can't have unrealistic expectations that they should know how you think, how you feel, or what you went through. And that's the second thing you need to think about before you get into these conflicts. So now that you got these two things to think about, before getting into any type of conflict, I want to talk about dealing with very difficult people. The people you keep talking to over and over, and it really does feel like they're out to get you, or they're not listening to what you're saying. So here's my 3 tips how you talk to them about a specific thing. Number 1 is don't be vague, right? Don't be like, hey, you know how you're always saying this and you're always doing this? When you're too vague, it's easy to deny. I'm not always like that. What are you talking about? And you can't get mad at them either because you can't name anything, which means be very specific. Remember last Monday after lunch, we were talking here and you said this to me, right? Very specific, which means that person can recollect and say, oh yeah, I remember that conversation. Second thing is you have to process everything and kind of tell them what you really feel. Now, don't do it emotionally. Process it first and be very exact and precise with how you really felt. Don't be like, so like that time you said this and then it didn't make me feel good, and then you said this, and then it was like not good, and then it was totally not good because your not good talk turned into not good talk and made me feel like not good, right? And you're like, the guy's gonna be like, what? You have to be very specific. So process what you just went through and say the things that you really mean. I felt disrespected. I felt kind of betrayed. I felt that you didn't really think about me and you only thought about yourself, right? You gotta kind of be open about what your real feelings are, but be very specific about it and not too vague about that either. So refer to the exact time and place so that the person can remember what happened and what was said or what was done. And then how did that make you feel? And then last but not least, you have to talk about a consequence. Because consequences tell people of how bad or how hurt you really are. For instance, last Monday after lunch, you said this to me, and it made me feel like this. And if you continue to treat me like this, or if you continue to do this, then I can no longer work with you anymore. I no longer want to hang out with you anymore. I don't think it's gonna be easy for me to go out with you like this anymore, right? And once they hear there's a consequence, then they realize you're really serious about this. But if you just say to people like, hey man, that was really rude yesterday, it just stops there. They're like, oh, sorry. And they continue to do the same thing over and over again. You have to be very specific and detailed. Tell them exactly how you feel. Process it first. And lastly, talk about a consequence at the end and say, you know, if you really keep disrespecting me like this, I don't think I can work with you anymore. I don't think I can hang out with you anymore. And once they hear the consequence, they understand, wow, it's really this serious. If you don't have a consequence, people don't know how serious you really are. They're just kind of saying that, man, you treat me like this. Oh, I'm so sorry. All right, it's done. And they continue doing the same thing over and over again. All right? So I really hope that this helps you out, especially dealing with the really difficult and hard ones. It's hard for me too, guys, but it's something we gotta do so that we don't keep getting into conflict with people like that. All right, guys? So that's it for today's talk. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. Yes, if you haven't done it already, hit subscribe, smash that notification bell, and help us out by liking and leaving a comment. And what's today's comment, guys? Which groups of people are the ones you get into conflict the most? Is it friends, family, colleagues, or whatever, roommates, right? Now, all of you who want to support, go ahead and support us on PayPal. It's in the description, or you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com, and that's in the description too. All right, guys, have an amazing day. I'm out. This is Sky, and that's Chewy. All right, guys, see you guys again. Gosh, I need another coffee.